Thank you all for being here with us. Well, this portion of the show is a time that we've set aside to catch our breath and reflect on our personal and musical heritage through story and instrument and song. Now, many of you know me as a guitar player, and Lord knows I love to pick the guitar, but this old bass violin turned out to be my true calling. I've toured the world behind one of these old doghouse basses. Bull bass, bass violin, bass viol, upright bass. It's got 100 names. When I was a kid, I wanted to play in the bluegrass band, and the only way the fellows would let me play, they said, "You see that big bass over there? Well, if you learn to play that, you can play in the band with us." So I took up the instrument and fell in love with it. David's got a 6-string banjo there. It's a pretty rare instrument, and that one in particular has been in his family since the early 1900s, probably over 100 years. It's one of his prized possessions. Well, I was 5 years old when Ma White left this earth. But I have some fleeting memories of my great-grandmother. I remember a birthday cake that had over 90 candles on it. It's funny the things that stick with a child, but I can remember just candle after candle after candle on this birthday cake. It was 90-something, I forget which one it was. But I also remember being scared as a child, scared of the wrinkled old woman who really only wanted a hug from the young'uns, but you know, to a kid, you see that side and you just don't know what to do, but she just wanted a hug, that was all. If I'd had my wits about me as a 5-year-old, I would have been a little more willing to give her that hug. But they say Ma White was quite spunky even into her twilight years, and the fact that her given name was Fanny, and we talk about her bottoms, would probably appeal to her sense of humor. On her 92nd birthday, she got down on all fours and did her infamous Pat the Rabbit dance. Her daughters were mortified. They thought she was going to break a hip or something, but she did it anyway. They say she could delight anyone with her insight. Did any of us here know Dwayne Mintz? I know I did. Who knew Dwayne? How many of us here kin to Dwayne? Well, Dwayne and my mother are the same generation, and they were fortunate enough to spend part of their lives knowing Ma White. Dwayne was a grandson, not by blood, but by marriage. You might consider him a grandson-in-law. Anyone in Ma White's family was her family, whether by marriage or not. Well, this is Dwayne's story. This is Dwayne's story of a golden moment with Ma White. Once they were sitting on the porch visiting, as people often do, and they were looking out over the fields. It was springtime, and a new crop of corn was pushing its way through the earth. And there was a flock of crows out in the field far off, and they were raising a flurry of dust and a commotion. And Dwayne asked Ma White what she made of clamor. And she said, "When I was a little girl in Cherokee County, I saw the same thing one time, and I asked my pa about it. And he told me the birds were holding crow court." Crow court. It turns out that a couple of the crows are supposed to keep guard duty while the rest of the flock is feeding and sound a warning if danger approaches. And if they fail to do their jobs, well, they're tried in crow court and put to death. Well, Dwayne just figured the story was Indian lore. The Indians knew more about the habits of animals than anyone. Ma White's father was raised up in Cherokee, North Carolina, among the Native Americans, and they say he spoke the Cherokee language as well as German and English. We know our pioneer ancestors had a connection to heaven and earth that we'll probably never know. They wasted little, and they really only wanted a peaceful home and a loving family. And we have an arrangement of a song that was written by Noah McLean Philpott. Noah McLean Philpott is the great-great-grandson of Ma White and my nephew. I fell in love with this song and decided I would get with the boys in the band. We'd work up a little version of it for you tonight. It's called Climbing Up to Zion. 1, 2, 3, 4. I walked so long shadowed valley, I forgot the warmth of the rising sun. I feared my life, it would be over just as soon as it had begun. So I'm gonna climb on up to Zion. I'm gonna meet them angels fair. And though there's lightning on the horizon, the sun still shines in angels' hair. I rode my pony way up the mesa. I sat on her back till starlight filled the sky. I wondered where this road would take me, not worried much about how, when, or why. So I'm gonna climb on up to Zion. I'm gonna meet them angels fair. And though there's lightning on the horizon, the sun still shines in angels' hair. They gonna take me by my hand and show me the way to the promised land. Good folks smiling, little children laughing, a little piece of heaven for a peaceful man. But one day I'll climb on up to Zion. I'm gonna meet them angels fair. And though there's lightning on the horizon, the sun still shines with angels' hair.